Greetings, 2026, and welcome to Miting de Avance. I'm Kenneth Dapada from Ang Laga Blog.
I am Paul Aquina from the Science Scholar, and we will be your hosts for today. Before we proceed to the introduction of candidates and plans of action, here are a few reminders.
Please remain respectful throughout the program. Avoid making unnecessary reactions and actions that may distract the candidates and other audience members.
Flow of the Miting de Avance is as follows: introduction of hosts, plans of action, candidate Q&A, and open forum. If you have any questions for the candidates, kindly send them in the chat with the format *party/position question during the open forum segment. Do note that we are also streaming live on YouTube.
Without further ado, let us proceed to the introduction of candidates and each party's plan of action. Each party will be given 5 minutes, while each independent candidate will be given 3 minutes to introduce its members and state the general plan of action. Statement over the time limit will be cut off, so please use your time wisely.
Thus, the floor is yours. Your time starts now.
Hey guys, my name is Javier Apple, but you can call me Javi, and I'm running for president of Batch 2026. I was previously the president of 7th Sapphire and the batch vice president in grade 7, and now I am currently the president of 8th Rizal. The reason I'm running for president is that I want to help you guys have an easier and more fun school year, and I'll be able to achieve that with my fellow Service United students and the projects we have planned for all of you. Finally, if you need any help, my Messenger and Discord are always open. Thank you.
Hi there, I'm Zarshal Ada C. Australia, or as most would know me as Ada. I'm currently running for Vice President of the Batch Council. I'm a 13-year-old second-year service-driven student whose passion is music and leading. I was a consistent leader and student council member at my elementary school, Jade's class president last school year. I've also witnessed and done firsthand some of the work the previous batch council has done as Jade's representative, and I am also 8 Adelpha's current class president. If I were given the opportunity to officially lead the batch, I know I would give my 110%, well as work hand in hand with the other batch council members and class officers to make this school year of online learning progressive and fun.
Hello, Batch 2026. I am Gabriel John A. Madularo, coming from 8 Adelpha, and I'm running for the position of Batch Treasurer. A brief intro of myself is that I love listening to music, playing random jams on the ukulele, and I have had previous experiences being in leadership positions. Like last year, I was the class PRO of 7 Opal and also the current PRO of my class. Running for treasurer of the batch council, I will ensure that the funds of the BC, if any, will be put under safekeeping and will be dealt with accordingly in a manner that we may use them effectively and efficiently. Additionally, I am willing to be of service to the batch and help the individuals that make up batch 2026 with their issues alongside the batch council, such that we may be able to develop ourselves and the batch as a whole towards the greater good.
Hello, my name is Augustin Joseph Serra, and I'm running for Batch Auditor. Last year, I was Class PRO of Section Emerald, and this year, I am currently the Class Auditor of Section Ilang Ilang. I was also a former Student Council President during my grade school years. Some of my interests are playing guitar and watching anime. I also love to build computers. If elected as a batch auditor, I commit to serve with transparency and accountability. As a batch officer, I also commit to help you in any way I can. I look forward to serving our batch this year.
And now for the general plan of action. First and foremost, for the continuation of batch parties, this is a way for students to interact with one another, relax, and relieve themselves of stress. Since these types of events are very heavy planning-wise, they'll only be conducted on major holidays like Christmas, Valentine's Day, and the farewell party for the end of the school year. Next, for the game nights, it's just a way for the batch council to bring the community closer via Discord. Some games with multiplayer Scribble.io, Gartic Phone, and Jackbox. We would also look for student volunteers who would want to help facilitate. This is to be conducted once a month, preferably on either Wednesdays, Friday afternoons, or Saturdays, so that the council and facilitators won't be too overwhelmed with this along with the requirements. And for those who don't want to attend or don't use Discord, we will be streaming the event via YouTube channel for the batch council for events like this. The link would be emailed to the batch.
Thirdly, the batch class officers meeting or the BCOM was made so that the whole batch council can have a meeting with every section's class officers or class representatives to address any issues or plans that the batch may or may have been experiencing. Subsequently, the batch matrix of requirements is for students who are mostly behind on due dates. This is essentially one large Google Sheet for the batch in order for them to see the deadlines. Only a viewer option link will be given to the rest of the batch, while the class officers will be given the editor's link. This will also be briefed during the first BCOM meeting.
Next, we have the student teacher program, which will be essentially a group of volunteers of direct registers that will help or are willing to help tutor or help struggling students. This is so that more people would reach out for help, since the tutors will be their classmates, and depending on the preferred mode of communication of the learner, it will be conducted via Google Meet, and the primary communications platform for them would be Google Chat. The BC will be keeping in touch with the volunteers to keep in track who they have helped and
Thank
if
you
the
very
efforts
much,
is
SUS. Let's now proceed with general plan of action of the independent candidate for Vice President. Francesca Sabino, your time starts now.
I solemnly swear I am up to no harm. Good day, Pisay, and good day, Batch 2026. I'm Francesca Sabino, and this is my general plan of action. But first, let me introduce myself. I'm Francesca Sabino, or Cheska, and I'm running independently for Batch Vice President. I'm not the type of person to give up easily, and I never back down from a challenge. As for experience, I've been a class auditor and vice president, and I'm currently the class president of Ilang Ilang. I was also your batch auditor last school year. Now, for my general plan of action, I have 5 planned events, namely a Christmas party, end of year party, friendship day, tutorials, and a quarterly How Are You forum. These 5 programs mainly focus on the batch's wellness, either social, academic, or mental, as a whole and as individual students. We'll make sure that you have a fun time this school year. Let's talk about these events in detail. First off, we have our Christmas party, because we still need to sing Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays, online setup or not. As the name implies, we'll be celebrating the joy of Christmas using Zoom, featuring Christmas-themed portions like games. Who knows, we might even have an online exchange gift program by class. Let's time travel a bit and go to the end of the school year. Let's bond together one last time as 8th graders, both as a batch and at their own sections. It'll be like a wrap-up of our whole school year, but don't worry, there's no exams. There will be a trivia quiz though, so be prepared. Feeling sentimental yet? Well, let's move back a few months and talk about Friendship Day, which will happen around the middle of the school year. We all know that making friends is hard, especially in this online setup. So through Friendship Day, I hope that new friendships will be made. How will this work? We'll group people into breakout rooms based on their common interests, information that we will gather during the registration process. If you're looking for help on your requirements, I can help you out through tutorials. Whether you want to ask your classmates or batchmates, the tutorial program's got you covered. Yep, you can access it through your batch or class, or maybe both. There are 2 options, and some people feel more comfortable asking within their class than asking the batch, and vice versa. So far, we've ticked off social and academic wellness, so that leads us to mental wellness. I know this sounds cliche, but the last is not the least. Rather, it's the most important. I want to know how all of you are doing, and that we're always here for you if you need a shoulder to lean on. We want to help through that by giving everyone a safe space to leave their thoughts at. Since we're all busy, this form will be sent out quarterly after the end of each periodic exam week. Well, it looks like we've checked off everything on my list, and that's all. Thank you everyone for listening to my presentation, and I hope you have your pen and paper ready for writing down any questions that you wish to ask me. This is Francesca Sabino, and may I remind you, exercise your right to vote by voting rightly. See ya.
Thank you very much, Francesca. Let us now proceed with the general plan of action of another independent candidate for Vice President, Lovina Sugitan. Your time starts now.
Hi, as you all know, my name is Lovina Miyasugitan, but you can call me Lovi. And my general plan of action is number one, end of the year party or end of 2021. As we know, it is very hard and we will embark on a new journey when the new year comes. So we will make new memories and have many trivias and kwentuhans that will be held. And number two, relaxation activities. Their Pisay has much stress, so we deserve a reward and relaxing activities such as watch parties with our sections. We will also have tutoring sessions so that we can help each other during the exams and the others. And number four, the how have you been? It's a form that will make sure that everyone is keeping up with the situation and everyone being okay. That is all.
Thank you, candidates. We will now proceed to the question and answer portion. Each candidate will be called up front and given 45 seconds to answer each question.
Each question will be given to the candidate 1 minute prior to answering. The candidates will answer in ascending order of their position and in alphabetical order of their parties.
We would like to request the audience to remain respectful throughout the portion. Again, if you have any questions for the candidates, please send them to the hosts.
We would now like to call the auditor of SAS. What particular experiences or skills have prepared you to serve as an auditor? Your time starts now.
So the skills I have prepared for as an auditor. So I have, as I mentioned a while ago, I have leadership experience as a class PRO last year, and in my grade school years, I was a student council president. Um, so I have a lot of leadership experience on that, and as the role of an auditor to give reports like for us to report to give reports and to allow the students to see where funds are being spent. I'm skilled at using Excel and Google Sheets, so that will be an easy task for me. And in yeah, that's basically it.
Next would be the treasurer of SUS. Have you ever considered holding fundraiser to fund the events planned throughout the school year? Your time starts now.
have I ever considered for fundraisers to fund the events planned for the batch? Yes, for the funds that we'll be needing for the events, though not necessarily needing for a big budget, we will be wanting cooperation with the batch for fundraising, and since we are in a hard time being under this pandemic, we still would want for I will be not forcing for everyone to give their share of funds. However, they will be asking for those who are stable enough and who are asking from those who are willing enough to give funds for the BC. If there is
We would now like to call the Vice President of SAS. Since the Vice President of the Batch Council acts as the official batch representative in the Student Council, how can you ensure that in this setup, your batchmates in both online and offline modes of learning will be properly represented?
I've seen the work of the previous batch council, their dedication and persistence, and I want to show everyone that I am just as committed and willing to serve. I want to show everyone that even though we are in online learning again, it can still be fun and interactive, not just academically, to ease them of stress and to be a leader that they can be comfortable talking to about any issues which may be bothering them. I would represent our batch as a fun and intellectual batch to address all issues and events, striving for excellence in online and offline modes of learning, to address all issues, and to let everyone know that I am a student leader willing to serve everyone and anyone.
Next would be the Vice President Independent candidate Francesca Sabino. As an independent candidate, should you win along with other candidates of other party, how do you plan to integrate your plan of action with theirs? Your time starts now.
Should I win along the candidates of the other party? I plan to integrate my plan of action with the other officers by talking it out with them so that the events will meet our goal for which is for the welfare of the batch and for the whole school. Thank you.
Next would be the Vice President Independent candidate, Lovina Sugitan. You stated in your GPOA that you plan to have tutoring sessions. Have you considered how to include students that opted for offline learning mode given their limited access to online platforms and the internet? Your time starts now.
It is with great pleasure that we can give out printed copies of these tutoring sessions. And of course, we could also give out monetary values to make them have loads. So we can also give them some pointers in Zoom or in chats. We can also text them of some of the stuff that they don't understand. Thank you.
Lastly, the President of SUS. You were previously the Vice President of the Batch Council. What was the most important realization or lesson that you learned during your term then? And how will you use this if you get elected as Council President? Your time starts now.
The most important realization I learned during my previous term was that a lot of students struggle during our time in online learning. So I will use this to help my batchmates now because I know what their problems were like last year, and I can build on that this year and help them better and more efficiently. Thank you.
Once again, thank you, candidates. We now proceed to the last portion of the Miting de Avance, which is the open forum. We will be asking questions gathered from the chat and those sent to the hosts.
Candidates, you have 1 minute to answer each question. For the first question, this can be answered by anyone. Why are you interested in running for your specific position?
Well, since I've said already earlier, I've seen the work of the previous batch council. I was happy to see the impact that they've created upon their fellow batchmates. They have helped me in learning a lot as a young leader to lead and to serve everyone who is willing to be served and led. I want to help those. This is not for power or anything, popularity, fame. No, it's for the students. I am driven for service for the students.
If you are elected, what are your priorities? Anyone can answer this question.
Aside,
So
sorry.
okay, sorry. So my first priority would be to make everyone eligible for online class. It is hard, but I'm sure we can raise funds to make sure that everyone can keep up without anyone getting left within the batch. Thank you.
Is anyone going to answer? We can now proceed to the next question. How can you be sure that you will be able to manage schoolwork and batch council work at the same time? Again, this can be answered by anyone.
I will make sure that I can manage both schoolwork and batch council work, since it's all just a matter of time management. If you finish everything early, we have enough time to do leisure activities and other duties. And if I will be elected, I will be able to help the batch president in for the programs, so that students will have a better time this school year in the online setup.
We will now proceed to the next question. What measures will you take to assist the students who are struggling?
In our party, as we've mentioned, we have the STP 2.0, which is essentially a reformatted version of the STP of last year's batch council, which we have reformatted so that every section would have a list of their current DLs or previous DLs. And we would ask for volunteers who are willing to serve their classmates, to tutor their classmates via Google Meet or whatever preferred mode of communication they want.
This next question is for the SUS president. What do you see as the primary work of a president?
I think that the primary work of the president is to lead the whole batch and to lead everyone in the batch council so that everyone will be able to help the batch better and more efficiently. The president helps the council lead the other people in the batch so that everyone in the batch will be able to have an easier and more fun school year.
This can be answered by anyone. Is there a particular issue that motivates you to serve in the student council?
For me specifically, it's to help those who are in need, whether be it for their mental health or academically. Since as second year high school students who started in online learning, I saw last school year that a lot of us really struggled mentally, physically, intellectually. Not all of us had access to learning guides. Not all of us had access to private tutors, which is why, as Service United students, we are dedicated to serve all of you and to strive for the best for our batch.
Last question for SUS. What is your vision for the batch? I think this can be answered by someone who hasn't answered yet. Thank you.
I think our vision for our batch, the vision for the batch is to promote welfare and education. We also want the students to experience high school in the best way possible. So to experience in the best way possible, and we'll try to make the experience as close to face, even though it's done online. And we have to feel and we're trying to make it so that we feel safe when communicating with each other, even though we don't see our real faces.
Thank you for your support and cooperation. Elections will be held next week, so don't forget to vote wisely.
Elections for vacant positions will be held in 2 weeks. Thank you once again, and this concludes this year's Miting de Avance.